hoped that it would be. And so under my purview this last year, we switched over to Office 365, it was just a mess. It did not go well, it didn't transition well, and not only that, I don't mean to speak ill of our current company, it just, when I asked them for support in all of the apps that provides and just how to integrate with that, they were like, you need to go hire a specialist in Office 365, and I was like, we're paying you as our IT company, you should have somebody on board, and that came directly from the owner, so I was like, okay. So it's just been a long time coming, and so we had a lot of other functionality things that we were fixing and working on this past year, and so we just finally got the RFP out after I gave notice to our former company, and we want to get the ball rolling with the right team who's going to support the staff and all of our needs. Susie has been great about doing our RFP, so we apologize. This is our first time doing an RFP for IT, so if there was a lot of missing questions, you probably all should have got the supplement document if you did. These out there. These are also all posted on BidNet. So we're trying to get the answers. We do have a list of specific questions that we sent to our former company that we are waiting to get back. So that may help some of the questions that you guys have. Because it's just been like to get some answers, some questions and stuff, but we're working on it, so we apologize, and we'll get that info to you. So I don't know, do you want to add anything to that, Suze? Or?
No, if you have questions, I can write them down. I might be able to answer some of them. I'm not a hardware person, so some of those questions I won't be able to answer, but we'll probably try to get some of those details from the current company. But any other questions that you have, I'll write them down and we'll get those answers and try to get those posted by the end of the day, today or tomorrow. So make sure that what you provide us as a proposal is as close to accurate as possible, with the understanding that there might be some tweaks and changes.
Yeah, we're flexible on it because we understand without the info it's kind of hard to give us an accurate quote. So we're very well aware of that. So do you want to just split them up? Let's just split you guys up into 3 and 3, and we'll take you through. The server room is very small. It's actually in lockdown in our police department, so you have several chains to go through to get into that. So Haley, you have full access as well, right? Do you want to take the first 3, and then we'll, it shouldn't take long to go through, and then we'll come through the second questions you might have. And then if anybody wants to look at, like, you know, the desktops or anything, we can kind of circle back in here and talk on a broader scale of what we're trying to do in this room too, because it's in process outside of the TV falling off the wall. They installed last week. Thank God it was under their purview and didn't hurt anybody, and but it was like they were sitting in the room and they hung it and it fell when they were in it. So I was like, okay, good. It wasn't. They know it's not us. So we're getting that replaced. But we can talk about kind of some other needs for the town, or kind of what I'm trying to do and take us into, you know, advance us in technology throughout the town. So
how many total sites, public works?
So we have 3 total sites. So this is town hall. The majority of the employees are here and the functionality is here. We have a Kersey Community Center, which is just right down the street on the 2nd. And then we have the Public Works, which is across the highway on Highway 34. So all pretty close within that. We are switching to Allo Broadband. So we currently have Rise, which is the line of sight connection. We all know how well that works, but it was like, look, that's what we got. And so Allo Broadband was installed starting last summer and should be ready to go by the beginning of March. So we hope to have that pulled into the building. That location is really close, so it's just a straight shot and up down into the server room. We just have not done that yet because they're not ready. So, but that should be ready hopefully within a couple weeks. And then, yeah, we'll get that going.
That's huge.
Yeah, so yeah, and so it'll be a hard, like a direct connect at, and excuse me if I'm not using the correct terminology, but it'll be a direct connect at Town Hall and at the Kersey Center, and then line of sight to the wastewater treatment plant, because they did not bore under the highway to go over onto the other side yet. So yeah.
We just did that for town, wasn't it?
Did you? Yeah. But it'll be a lot better than what we have now, and I think our contract, we got the think it's 500 down and 500 up, but I can double check that too. So and it's all free for us, thank goodness. So yeah, I was like, the franchise agreement's not done and they've already started digging in the town. I'm like, sign this please. So, we're just like, was not done. So, but yeah, so, any other questions before we take a peek in there and then we can circle back? Yeah, no, okay. Haley, why don't you take these three gentlemen and take them in and we'll show you what's going on and then if you guys.
Should I go with them?
If
Write
you
down
want,
questions?
sure,
Okay,
sure.
I'll go with them and then we'll.
You can write down any more additional
Yeah.
questions, so. Good morning,
Good
thank you for
morning.
joining us. Yep, I'm Stacy Brown, the town manager. We're doing group tours and kind of breaking up because the room is small and it's tiny. And, so something I did what we're talking about, we, applied for a grant, a SIPA grant. And, we're waiting to hear back in May for that. What we need to do regardless is transition us to the cloud, because we are not, the majority of what we do is not cloud-based right now. And if you're familiar with Office 365, OneDrive, SharePoint, all of that stuff, we should really be transitioning into that, not only for security, but storage space and all that kind of stuff. If you want, you can sign in right in the front here. I think there's just a little, there you go, no, you got it. And then, so we're gonna go into, we wanna go into the cloud-based format, and then also just having the ease and use to be able to have multiple people in one file at the same time.
Right.
And, you know, just that, and so I came from Windsor, the town of Windsor, and, so, honey, do you want a water or anything?
No.
No, okay. And so, we hated it, oh my god, the Office 365 transition, you know what it's like if you've had clients with that, and you're just like, ugh. And then once you get used to it, you're like, how did we kind of operate without this? And so when we came here, it was kind of a struggle. So, we are looking to transition to that, and part of that is the grant that we got. We're hoping for SIPA. Regardless, we know we need to do that, but we'll find out, should be beginning to middle of May, we'll find out if we got that grant. And once we find out, we don't have to wait for the funds. We will spend the money and get that transition and go. We just gave our notice. It was supposed to be to the end of May with our former company, and they replied back Friday night and said, no, we're done 3/31.
Wow.
Yeah, so I went, okay, and so I replied back, are you sure you don't want to stay with us till the end of May? Because we built our whole schedule based on having our new company in place and having a 45 to 60 day transition period so that our new company could get up to speed and really kind of figure out and give us advice about what's the critical, right? Like what do we need to kind of patch until we get this or that.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of a shock. So I'm still waiting to hear back on that. If not, we're gonna expedite this as quickly as possible and make sure that we're still functioning.
They decided not to end it on a good foot, I guess.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Which is just, it's disheartening, but you know, again, it's the whole kind of MO of what we've been dealing with and why for the last year I've heard from the staff is we need different direction for the organization.
Mm-hmm.
This room, we are also doing an upgrade, as you can see, minus the TV that fell off. We're trying to transition. So when I came online, I got a podium. It just needs to be formalized a little bit. People were yelling from the back of the room and not doing things the way that we thought that they should. And I was trying to, as the town manager, run the whole Zoom meeting, the packet, all of the things up from my station up there. And so I said, we're going to shift this a little bit. So we did a partial upgrade with some money we had left over last year from ARPA. And so we did $10,000 is what we put in so far just to get it upgraded. So we have a mini desktop that's not fully locked and loaded yet because we don't have an Office 365 license for it. But we do have a plug and play here where people can be able to display. So underneath all of those seats up there, the majority of them are mini desktop units.
Okay.
Those we have a quote on, and we wanted a more robust system, so we put that into the quote with SIPA. If we get that, great. If not, we will still buy them and just move forward, but we're trying to get it covered through the grant process because they will not support transitioning to Windows 11, which we know is due by October or something of this year. So they have right now, everything's functioning up there, but just, you know, that would be part of like what we're trying to do is just continue to make this room functioning. Because right now we just wheel the TVs up and, the elected officials get to look at one and the audience gets to look at the other. And so now we've switched it so anybody presenting here or at my station or the town clerk, it comes up on all their screens up there. And so it just is just a lot more efficient and effective, and really how we should be displaying to the public, right? That's the whole thing of this SIPA grant, is technology to the public. So we're hoping that that grant will come through first. They seem really supportive of it, and they were very helpful. So we're hopeful that it'll really help us. We do have one mini desktop unit that's in the wall. If you walk in out in this main room, it's for overflow. So there is a TV out there that's a mini desktop unit as well. And I think we've tried to answer a lot of those questions that you had in these documents that Susie put on the web. Like I mentioned, we have asked our current company for a lot of the more specific statistics and questions that are relevant to your guys' world, not ours. We apologize for our really probably incomplete RFP and not enough information. And so we're expecting those back today. We will see how that goes, which just includes a lot of specific details that we did not have before. So we're hopeful that those will come back today for us. And for the two gentlemen who showed up, we're just shifting out a little bit because the room is really small. So we're just taking them in groups to walk through, so you can look through the server room, kind of get an idea for what's there, and come back. It's in a lockdown key card situation. So.
We're together.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, so we will, as soon as they're done, they'll bring them back in, and then we'll circle through and do another group, and you can kind of see it. Because I want people to be able to not feel like they're crowded looking over people's shoulders, and you can kind of get in. And I apologize, we were not given access to give anybody, to let anybody have, access to a system yet. We will get those permissions. They won't give any of us administrative privileges either. Yes.
Okay.
So we do anticipate doing that, from at least one person.
Absolutely.
Okay, we can take the next group.
Great.
We might even have three.
They can just keep.
Yeah.
I can stand in the back.
It's
I
a
can
matter of, it's a very tight fit. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. It's a tiny break.
But he's down here at the bottom over here. This is the camera system.
Gotcha.
This is the HVAC system.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Great job on your food.
I got a sample one from the town of Windsor.
Okay.
And then I just went on BidNet to see who else was looking, and I copied theirs. And then I
was
put
smart.
it together.
That's
and then
great.
added kind of our what we want.
Yeah.
And then everything on the cloud and
Right.
Nothing
transition over
special,
to
Yeah.
especially
right.
when we do
Microsoft.
abandoned
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
and we're
it's
looking to go.
more secure, and I love how things are integrated.
Yeah.
And the calendaring,
Absolutely.
and
Basics
looking,
and
like,
that,
it's
yeah.
so nice.
Makes it
Once
seamless.
you learn how to use it,
Mm-hmm.
there's some
Perfect.
growing pains.
So I guess
Yeah.
one of the
Learning
things
curve.
that
Yeah.
I mentioned to the
Little
other group,
frustrations.
Yeah,
Um,
but that's
is
just
that
the nature of improvement.
we're currently running
Yeah.
on Rise Broadband, which is,
Yep.
Allo has a tentative early March start date. Their pedestal is just right here behind the building. We have discovered that there is a conduit here that has a line to pull it through. So there's a possibility that it will be ready to, it'll be long by the time we start, by the time we're ready for this.
If all goes well, right?
Yeah,
So-
fingers
Yeah.
crossed.
When do you expect to hear about the grant?
Me.
Oh, in May, okay.
Yeah.
So,
But we had
but
to
you're
move
doing it
forward.
regardless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had to move forward.
Yeah.
So,
The wastewater treatment facility and the community center connect here with a VPN. What else did we talk about?
Do you use SCADA
Yes.
system?
yes.
Okay.
And then community center is actually on CenturyLink, not Rise.
Oh,
Over there.
But they'll be on our too.
oh, it will be changing?
Yeah.
And they have a connection point ready also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, full string's already there. I'm like, nice.
Wow.
It's
Ready?
nice that we were thinking ahead on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my husband does the underground, construction, land development stuff, so he came and looked, and he's like, oh, here you go. I was like, I wouldn't have even known.
Oh, that was nice.
So it was nice
to
for him to
have.
just come by and
Yeah.
give us like a free training. Any questions that I can write down to, or did, like,
Or
you see
questions
what
I
you
might be
need
able
to
to-
see?
Yeah.
I'm good. Yeah.
Okay, let's go back.
I've been here for about 7.5 years, so or 6.5 years, so I know most things, but.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'll hold the door.
And I
behind you.
don't. I know just enough to be dangerous.
That's good.
Yeah, and if you email me, I will get your contact info.
Okay.
So that you can, yeah, reach out to her directly. So.
Oh, yeah.
So I think you tell me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was there as the director of economic development. I never had imagined being a town manager. But I absolutely love it, and it's really nice. I think Kersey's poised with a lot of development coming down the pipeline. And so when they looked at me, I hope, and Julie was the hiring manager, so she could answer questions too, but, and just have that background in development and so I kind of wear two hats. I'm the town manager, but I'm also economic development.
Yeah.
So trying to maintain that and bring that in the way and just utilizing the 25 years that I had prior, seeing all the different mistakes that maybe municipalities didn't mean to make but made in the form of just infrastructure and building and growing. And
Right.
so, yeah, so I brought in, and Susie was on my team over there. She was an economic development specialist, but she also did some grant work for us as well as just data to the nth degree. So when I had the opportunity to steal her, I did. And so I brought her over because she's just, all of my team here honestly are just little rock stars in their own right. I will tell you that I have never been impressed with a better team here. I feel really secure in that, regardless of what we went through last summer, which was like a whole land use code update, municipal code update, zoning code update, Main Street program, hiring a new chief of police.
And over 365.
And going through 65. Well, attempting. 365, let's just say that. So Susie came on in November and she's like, hey, we can do all this stuff and this is how we can do forms and power automate. I'm like, yes, I remember, let's do that. And we went, something's not right.
Right.
Something wasn't working.
Oh,
So,
boy.
yeah.
That's why the reference for Microsoft experience.
Yes.
When the RFP.
Like, yeah, when you get told by your former company or current company that, you know, yeah, just go hire a specialist in that, we're like, isn't everybody kind of going to Office 365? You might want to hire someone that knows Office 365. So, yeah. So, it was just a little kind of a shocker to us, but, does anybody have any questions? I don't want to be up here just blabbing all day long, but does anybody have any questions about?
For the SharePoint migration, is the goal to decommission all the servers on that server rack in there? No on-premise servers?
It's really whatever is recommended
Okay.
by the company. We don't have an issue with either or, but we do want to be in the cloud. We want to be secure. We don't want to get hacked, and we want to be in the cloud. But we understand there may be a hybrid model
Yeah.
that works best for us. We're tiny. We don't have a lot of staff. But it's whatever, you know, the goal is to also kind of get rid of VPN, like, right? Like, we don't need to, we shouldn't have to have that in today's world, I don't think, but this is your world, not mine. I think one thing and then they're like, yeah.
We'll stay out of economics for that.
Yeah, okay, good, I'll stay out of IT. Problem is, I know enough to get myself into trouble, and nothing about hardware either, like Sue said, so we're not hardware people, but we just know the functionality that we were fortunate enough to get in our last, municipality, and it's just not here. It's just,
So we're open to suggestions as well.
Yeah.
If we're saying, well, we wanna do this is the end result we're looking for, and you see a different path that can get us there easier and less expensive, we're totally open to that. Like, we don't know what we don't know. So we put out what we think we want, but we're also open
We
to
will also
listen to
have-
the experts.
We also have Cassell, which is currently
Can we
hosted.
cloud?
No, it is
It's
not.
on premise?
It's on-prem, okay.
We are looking at the possibility of moving to Tyler, which is a web browser hosted. It's not, so, but there will be a transition time there. I'm gonna guess that it'll probably be a 6-month build out.
yeah,
Something like that,
and we
so-
applied for it with SIPA, so again, if we don't get the SIPA grant, we won't be transitioning to Tyler. We won't know that until
May.
mid-May, so.
And then from there, it's the, the process of the contract signing and all the
All the
things
back and
to,
forth.
so I'm gonna guess that it would be an early 2025 thing, if that happens,
2026.
yeah, that's
Now, see me, I'm just like, no, get it done, it's gotta be done.
I need to
Tyler
have some more
Technologies.
coffee, I guess.
I know, yes, yes.
And it's
Yeah,
Monday.
So yeah, that will be a piece that might be a little challenging, it's just that changing, Cassell does offer a cloud-based
Yes.
hosted with them, so,
And it could be, we do certain modules with Tyler sooner rather than, right, getting our full thing shifted over, cause didn't we go after several different modules from them, or no? Or are they all integrated and Stacy stopped talking?
There are some Tyler modules which are not not web-based yet, not
Okay.
cloud-based. They have to be on-prem, depending on which module you get.
Okay. So we appreciate your flexibility and just do not hold back, like be direct with us, obviously it's just, we, like Susan said, we don't know what we don't know.
Right.
We will, take your advice, it doesn't mean I won't have questions, but we will, definitely try to work for it. We're just trying to get us functioning like we know we can, and like I mentioned, I think everybody here almost wears multiple hats. So, we've got a small staff, but they're amazing, and anything I can do to advance that and make their jobs easier from a technological standpoint, we need to do, within reason, right? We don't have a lot of budget, but we're trying, so.
I would
well,
highly,
Susie's trying to get us a bunch of.
I would highly recommend you talk to other people in your size community to Tyler. Every client we've had that's gone to Tyler beforehand that did that, they found out their cloud model isn't as good as they say it is. So I would highly recommend that.
Okay, yeah, we've done 2 or 3 different demos, right? That kind of stuff. Cassell's just extremely clunky. So if you have other recommendations, let us know, because the grant is really, what's really cool about it is we went after an amount to do specific functionality. We don't have to use the partnerships that were there. So we've gotten quotes, I think for IT services, for Tyler, for all that stuff, but we already knew we were putting out an RFP.
Right.
So that's what we wanted to do, and so, we just wanted to make sure that we look at everything before we just jump into something too much, so, yeah. But we're very thankful to have so many people interested in helping us out, so, for sure. Thoughts, questions?
From a
Anybody else?
cybersecurity standpoint, is your current vendor doing any kind of software on the computers that you guys know of for cybersecurity software?
Yes.
They are.
We do have that, and we also have MFA, but it's not as, strict as I would like it to be.
Gotcha.
Let's just say that. I just, the logging in, is not as often as we had it, or like
Gotcha.
required it, and I think we need to have that. I also have not forced and implemented, and we used to have to lock our desktops every time we walked away, we locked your screen, done. And we have not done that here, and so, but we also have a more robust, security system, just so you know, got this like 2 years before I left. Here you came down, there's cameras everywhere, inside, outside the building. There's a security alarm system. There's also, to get anywhere back into any of the offices, you have to have this. So I may not be as mean on that, but we'll see. See how strict they are. I just think it's for a security thing and a safety thing. We've heard the horror stories, right? Wasn't Wheat Ridge one of them that got like taken over? I mean, even CDOT, I was working on an economic development project to put in a roundabout on a state highway, which was a whole nother conversation. But we got through that. We had the designs and everything went. They got hacked. We lost the designs. We missed the whole asphalt cycle. So we had to wait 6 months because they had lost the designs that were in the system, and so we had to wait and come back because it was by the time they recovered everything, it was like October, November, and asphalt plants are closed. So
Fremont County.
Yeah.
Fremont County got it too. So yeah, so we're definitely
Matter of when.
we want to be secure, right? We want to be doing what we can do to protect. It's just money and time, and it's our constituents' time and money, that we're doing, and so we want to be good stewards of that. So
City of Cripple Creek.
Cripple Creek, really. Yeah, and they haven't tried. It's not like we haven't seen this thing. Can you transfer this much money into this? You know, I hit the button and like.
Yeah.
But,
Town of Rye got hacked as well.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so we're not invincible, but we definitely want to put stuff in place that makes us as close to that as we can.
And it looks like you want to have the same compliance with the Colorado Bureau of Investigation policies and procedures.
Yeah, that's for our police department.
Great.
Yeah. So they do not have any dedicated IT lines or anything like that specifically, but you all went into their own, like, and only.
But their licensing also requires that CDI.
Is that right?
And you are gonna be looking for a vendor who's already CGS compliant, correct?
Yes.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
I know, we don't know what we don't know. Sure.
Okay, yeah,
Yes,
gotcha.
Yes, sure.
If they're gonna work with the police officers on stuff, usually want them to be CGS
Yeah, I
compliant
mean-
beforehand on there.
Yeah.
The only experience I have from what's going on right now is we needed to order 2 new, the tough books.
Yep.
Because, they were so old, they weren't taking the updates anymore, and our chief was having difficulty when his officers were out in the field, like the dispatch and communication. So I told them to order 2 more or whatever. We checked with our current company, and they're like, yeah, we don't order those. Okay, so I told them, go back, find where you can find it from the vendor, and we'll work on that. So, yeah, so it's just
They didn't do
been
anything.
a struggle sometimes, with the situation that we're currently in. But that's okay, there's always, it makes you appreciate what's to come, right? Like,
Yeah.
well, we're waiting for that. So.
Good. Someone that's going to be really responsive customer service too.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just, just even reporting, Susie had a valid point in Haley too, so we do monthly trainings on educational components, and when I first started here, I said, what do you guys offer from that standpoint of cybersecurity, like any of those things, tips, tricks, like what do you recommend for our staff to stop them from doing something that is causing you guys problems, right? Or like
Right.
putting in help tickets nonstop. So Susie asked for a report on that to say, where are you seeing the most issues with our staff putting in help tickets? And is there a training that we can do on our side that makes your life a little bit easier, so that an educational side? So we're willing to fluctuate on both sides. It works both ways, right? This is a partnership, and we don't want to be causing extra work. If there's something we can do to educate our staff, or policies we can put into place to make it go a little bit easier, so that we're not eating up your time and going over what we have agreed upon. So.
That's smart.
So. And she feeds us lunch, so we all go.
Got to be an incentive.
We're already training, but she eats lunch.
It's amazing how many more people completed that after I started on first.
Right. Don't click on the link.
Right, well, and it helps us with CERSA too. So CERSA is our insurance provider, and as you all know, insurance is if you own a car or a house or both, it is just through the roof. And so it's no different for a municipality. What affects other parts of the state triggers our insurance rates to go up, whether we've had those same claims or not. So from anywhere that we can do compliance standpoint and lockdown and doing all of those things, it helps our insurance rates.
Are you guys using Noble for this?
What's that?
Are you guys using Noble for?
You know, we started to use them, and I don't know, I haven't done anything yet this year, but,
They
yeah.
provide that.
Don't know what that is, so that's.
It's, well, it's a little difficult
Awareness
to
training.
get set up with NovaForm because of free membership listeners, so you have to like jump through a bunch of hoops to get that set up.
Is it a training module or something?
Fishing training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And video training.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, that would be
So,
good for our elected.
that's on my radar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
they're not here.
And, you know, if you've worked with other municipalities, you know, CERSA, and annually we do an audit, so I always send the checklist thing that they give me
Yeah.
directly to the IT company because I do not have anywhere near enough know-how to fill out any of that properly.
When was the last security audit you did?
I did one in 2022, I think,
Okay.
so it's time.
Yeah, and you want it to be able to be compliant with your cybersecurity insurance too.
Yeah, so we did a training for all of our elected officials this fall, but it was more about procedure and how to operate businesses and stuff, but any of that other stuff too, we're open to ideas and suggestions. Now, because they will have access, hopefully, once we get Office 365 fully migrated, and they can check their emails up here and stuff like that too, so. Because right now, all they were able to do before is just kind of pull up the current agenda packet, and that's pretty much it.
Do they have laptops or?
They have iPads. Some of them don't want it.
I think those guys are just putting it on their phone now.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Personal phone, which is,
Same thing.
yeah, which we can do, get more details on that, I think, that might have been one of the questions we had, is how many mobile devices.
Yeah.
On that front too, do you know, are they doing any central management of the mobile devices at all for keeping them locked down or deploying apps to it, anything like that? No. Is that something
They're
Multi-factor.
not, we don't have the authenticator or anything mandatory on our phones.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Gotcha.
no multi-factor.
We do from a standpoint of our systems in town, but not on the phones.
Okay.
I can't remember if I logged in or not when we switched over. We could have, I just don't.
you know, kind of download it
Okay. So, it's, interesting, I'm not exactly sure with what we have. We have a policy in place in Windsor, and I think keep going back to that, but that was just the most recent one that we know, that was just basically like, you had to have so many seconds in your computer locked, or did those kind of things, so that, you know, that it was just keeping your information safe on there. So, I mean, I still have that, like my code to get in and all of that stuff, so, I think most people do nowadays, but it's, again, be something we need to probably focus on. Any other questions you guys have, or thoughts?
Happy with Nextiva? You guys have any issues with Nextiva, or is it pretty? We've worked with them in the past, so I was wondering how your, we've worked with them in the past, so I was wondering how your experience has been with them.
They're a little hard to work
Yeah,
with.
their supports, we've had issues with their support before.
Yeah, they're a little hard to work with, and, unfortunately, the people who set it up don't work here anymore, so I've just kind of had to learn on the fly how to fix those things. It could be better.
Yeah. We had a client who got Nextiva, and it's like, we're gonna manage everything for you guys, it's gonna be great. Like Nextiva said all this to them, they were gonna help take care of everything, and then basically we had to train our guys on learning the system because their support was so hard to get in touch with. So.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just curious if you had that
Yeah.
similar experience or not. Yeah. Sounds good.
Ready, break.
Yeah. But my cards are up there if you need a copy of that, and we'll do our best to give you the rest of the answers that we've asked Timberland for currently, like how many servers, like what are ours, what are theirs. The letter on Friday stated, what kind of Office 365 licensing we have. Well, we've been asking for that for probably 3 months and still haven't
Does
gotten it.
do one of you have tenant access?
No, they won't give any of us access to it.
What?
Yep. Which we will look for, at least probably myself to have access administrative profile, moving forward. It just doesn't make sense, but, you know, it's been very weird and very secretive, and that's why we're kind of just a little perplexed, but, you know, we're just moving forward, so, yeah,
We appreciate your time. coming all
very
this
much.
way.
Thank you
Yeah.
for
Appreciate your
coming out
time.
here.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Look forward to your proposals.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Grab a water, we'll shoot a water from there on the way out.
Thank you. Thank you. Is Stacy's card up here?